Let's go live once again here on Mike Avery Outdoors. My name is Mike Avery. I think that's my name, Mike Avery, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors on the Facebook page, on the YouTube channel, on LinkedIn, and on Twitter as well. This is something I do every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time as a way to kind of, you and I can have a conversation, right? The radio show is pretty one-sided, one way, yet this is a way that you and I can interact. For example, there's my good friend Lori Card. Good evening, Lori. How are you? Jim checking. There's Jim. We got Jim checking in from Tennessee. Martin's with us. Good evening. John's with us. Good evening. How are you? Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze, speedyblaze.com. Adam checking in. How are you, Adam? Nice to have you along with us on YouTube tonight. Let's talk more. You had more to say, huh? Johnny, it was nice to have you on the show this week. Pratt Lake checking in. Jim, how are you? Jerry's on board. Johnny was on the radio show. He was recorded it today for air this weekend. Tim Binns with us. Hello, Tim. Craig, my friend, how are you? Tony, nice to have you along with us. About finding a guide and affording one. I covered that, I think, Johnny, pretty well in the Ask Avery segment this week. Josh, looks like you guys had a lot of fun out in the water with your wife and your mom. Lauren says, a big fan of the show. I appreciate that. Jim is visiting St. Ignace this week. It's 54 and raining. That's a change over what we had for sure. Good evening, John. Good evening, Philip. How are you? Any word? Thank you for bringing this up, Lori. Any word about Wednesday Night Live at Oscar and Joey's? I had intended to bring this up later, but since Lori brings it up now, we're going to put this on hold right now. And the reason is Chef Dave Miner had surgery today. And I don't think he wants me talking about it. He doesn't want the sympathy. He would take the prayers for a quick healing, I'm sure. But Dave had surgery on his back today. We don't know how long he's going to be tied up. Now, he's a pretty tough guy. And if they fixed what the problem was, I'm sure he'll be back on his feet here very soon. However, I don't want to lock Dave into a week and have him rush his recovery and getting the restaurant open for us. So let's put this on hold temporarily till we give Dave a chance to heal up. And then we can move forward with our Wednesday Night Live segments. Hello, Kevin. How are you? Joe Llewellyn. Pastor, how are you? You have been the topic of much discussion lately. And I'll leave it at that. No, I did not get the bear tag. How about you? It broke my heart I didn't get a bear tag. Did you? Kendall woke up one day closer to bow season. Amen to that. You had a great time last Saturday on the bay. It was so much fun. Gary checking in from Rockford, very close to my hometown. Hey, Johnny, one of my hunters had 10 points and didn't get drawn. See, that's the problem, Paul. Your place is in Redoak. And it's hard to get points there. Hard to get. Chad says, this wind needs to stop. The walleye miss him. They miss me too. Just took a point for this year. Gotcha. Mosquitoes are bad with all the rain. But aren't you glad that we've had a break in the weather? I don't know about you, but last weekend was absolutely miserable. It was oppressive. It was hard to get anything done. Hey, Julie, I'm doing wonderful. How are you this evening? By the way, if you're just joining us, my name is Mike Avery. This is another edition of Wednesday Night Live here on Mike Avery Outdoors. If you're new to the show, I am a broadcaster, a podcaster here in Michigan. I talk about the great outdoors, the history and tradition of hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping. That's what the TV show was about. That's what the radio show is about. That's what this is all about. A celebration of the resources that God has given us in our attempts to, I don't want to say master our hunting and fishing adventures, but certainly get better at it. Drawing is done. It's sad. However, there's nothing we can do about it. Very true. I'm going to talk more about the drawings here throughout the show tonight. I'm going to give you some numbers. Did I write them down? Where did I write them? Oh, I got them. Going to give you some numbers on how many people applied, how many people got tags, and how you can transfer your tag. Now, this is interesting. If you got a Michigan bear or elk tag, and for some reason now you can't use it, you can transfer it. And in some cases, even keep your points. I'll tell you about that coming up. Also going to tell you how you can save some big money, not at Menards, but at outdoorpregame.com on the new Breeze blind. I'll get to that here in a minute as well. First reports of cicadas buzzing. What does that mean? Well, it means it's summertime, right? The old saying was, let me get this out here for Lori first. While working on the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Ladies Night Out event as you watch, listen, July 31st is the date. Lori, is that open to the public? And tell us more about that. I'd like to promote that, please. Cicadas buzzing. The old saying was, from the first time the cicadas buzz until the first frost will be 6 weeks. That's not the case. My dad documented that. I have documented that. I used to think it was closer to 8 weeks. Well, I actually think it's closer to 10 weeks, maybe even longer. But I do think it's true that the earlier the cicadas buzz, the earlier it will frost. I'm not willing to say it's 6 or 8 weeks, but I think there is a correlation, as there is in many things in nature. What's in the Yeti tonight? And you know, I don't really like Yetis. I think they're overpriced. I wouldn't buy them, but if people give them to me, I'll use them. Okay. I didn't get my bear tag. I didn't get my elk tag. How is this, John, with a question? How is this cool front going to affect the walleye bite? I don't mean to be, it is crystal light. Yeah. Jim says it's crystal light. It is. It always is. Jim says it always is. I don't mean to be flippant on this comment, but I really don't care. What I find, at least on Saginaw Bay, is I go fishing when I can, when the wind will allow me and when my personal schedule will allow. I was talking about this on the radio show this morning. I haven't had a chance to fish much in the last week because of Mother Nature, family obligations, and Joe Llewellyn, you'll appreciate this. I don't know, maybe not. I don't like to, I like to fish during the week when I can. I'm tied up Saturday with family things, and Sunday mornings, at least, I want to be in church. I just feel like if I didn't go to church Sunday morning to go fishing, I don't think God would reward me with any fish anyway. So I better stay off the water Sunday mornings, unless it's something like a Walleye for Warriors event or something like that. Lori says, yes, it is a women's event. It's open to the public. You don't need to be a hunter. There'll be something for everyone. Here's a link to tickets. Thank you, Lori. Craig, are you still involved in Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation? Craig Plowman? I know you're busy as can be at work right now. Didn't get a bear tag. Didn't get an elk tag. The numbers here in Michigan. Brian got the coveted first season in Newberry with nine points. That's what it takes. You are, Craig. Thank you. 60,000 people in Michigan applied for bear tags. They gave out 70,000 licenses. 49,000 people applied for Michigan elk tags. They gave out 260 of them. 80 of those being bull tags. I was actually happy. I thought I made a mistake and applied for an antlerless or a cow tag. I didn't. I actually applied for a bull tag. Although there's no shame in getting a Michigan elk cow license, is there? When is the Mike Avery Wild Game Dinner? Which one depends on which one you're talking about, Brandon. We had a Wednesday Night Live tentatively scheduled in August at Oscar and Joey's Roadhouse. Chef Dave Miner had surgery today on his back. I don't want to pin him into a date at the restaurant and have him not let himself heal up in an order to get the restaurant reopened and jeopardize his recovery. So I'm going to put this on hold, and we will, there we go. I'll put this on hold, and we will see how Dave is doing. Chad knows my point. If the wind and the weather lets him go, he's in, because in Michigan, you never know. Exactly. So that's when I say I don't worry too much about cool fronts or cold fronts or anything like that when I'm walleye fishing. I go when I can. The last time I was on the water was last Friday, and it blew so hard from the north that it was impossible. Tried to fish Sunday afternoon with my grandson. A 4th of July party kind of got in the way of that. And then we were going to fish Monday morning, and he texted me and said he couldn't because he had some work to do. I am fishing Friday with the folks from Michigan Brand Meats, and I'm fishing Monday with the folks from Speedy Blaze. Yes, cow elk are tasty too. In fact, probably better than bull elk, right? This is Wednesday Night Live, by the way. My name is Mike Avery. So glad to have you along with us. They loved the rain Saturday, didn't they, Martin? I think that's why we did so well in that skinny water. It was dark. It was overcast. There was color to the water. You get in that skinny water, and you can't have a bright sunny day when the weather's clear, when the water's clear. No fish in there. I talked to Ron St. Louis. Are the points the same if you put in for a cow or a bull? They are the same. However, the odds of getting a bull tag are smaller because there are fewer of them given out. So you get the same points. However, it's harder to get a bull tag, and it's hard enough to get any tag. Good evening, Sam. How are you? Sam Austin of J Sporting Goods, jsportinggoods.com. Cameron says, is it just walleye, or do I do any perch fishing too? I've tried perch fishing on Saginaw Bay. I really don't have a lot of success at it. And by the fall, I'm usually doing other things as well. But it's something I want to try. Joe Armanovich, who was with us that day, fishing the skinny water on Saginaw Bay. Joe, it's nice to have you along with us. It was a lot of fun fishing with you guys. Linda got her Baldwin bear tag. Do you know how hard it is to get a Baldwin tag? She waited 15 years for it. Congrats, Linda. Mike says he never got a tag, but he's up to 5 chances. Rodney got his Redoak tag. Redoak's tough to get too. Now, I know that right now, and this is something you might want to be aware of, if you applied for a Michigan bear tag and you didn't get it, there are still some tags available in the Berglund unit. I thought about getting one of those, but if I do that, I'll be blowing my points, and I want to hunt with Johnny Bowler next year, so I'm not going to blow him. Maybe someday perch fishing will be back like in the early 80s. Okay, and a couple more thoughts on these bear and elk tags and how you can donate them, and then we'll move on to something else. Rachel Leitner from the Michigan DNR joins me on the radio show this week. She explains how if you got a Michigan bear or elk tag, and for some reason now you can't use it, like if work or you got, unfortunately, God forbid, sick, or somebody in your family got sick and you can't use that tag now, it doesn't have to go to waste. You can donate it. You can donate it to somebody you know who is 16 or under and who applied for a bear or elk tag. You can donate that tag to them, but you'll lose your points. You can also donate them back to the DNR to somebody you don't know, but again, somebody with a terminal illness or a kid 16 or under who applied for a bear or elk tag, and you might be able to keep your points. Something to keep in mind. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. Dennis, how are you this evening? I like your, it's not really an emoji, but your Bud Light can there. Craig just bought his 19th Wyoming moose point for $150. Should have enough points in 2 to 3 years. And at that point, how much money will you have into that Wyoming hunt? I'm not saying it's a bad investment. I'm just curious. I talked to Ron St. Louis today at Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters, yesterday actually, in White River, Ontario, Canada. He has not officially pulled the plug on his bear hunch yet, but he expects to do so next week unless the overly strict Ontario or Canadian government does something that takes us all by surprise. Bradley, good evening. How are you? Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Let me give you a quick rundown of who's on the radio show this week. We start out with Johnny Bowler. I think Johnny is still here. Johnny is my bear guy in the UP. I hunted with him last year near Seney in the 3rd season. Lori got her Colorado elk tag the first time she applied. You should have played the lottery as well. I hunted with Johnny last fall. I was using a recurve. There's Rob from White River. He says, yes, it would be a surprise. We have friends who check in with us every week from White River, and Rob is one of them. Hello, Mike. How are you this evening? I hunted with Johnny last fall with my recurve. I had to sit 10 yards from the bait. We had some squirrely weather, some squirrely winds. I did see a bear, didn't get a shot at it. Johnny did his job. I think this year I will not be hunting with a recurve. I think I got that out of my system. I feel like I can't for several reasons. Number one, when I lost all the weight, I lost so much strength, and I actually haven't regained all of it back. So I have to pull a fairly low poundage recurve, and I'm not comfortable with it. I did kill a bear with it and a turkey with it. But I think I'm going to go back to a crossbow. The question is, whose crossbow will I shoot? Lake St. Clair Walleye Association, great interview. Fish there often. Please get them back on. All right. Rob, I think your sentiments are probably echoed by many of the people who live in that beautiful part of the state where you do. Hello, Jody. How are you this evening? Jody from Garber Chevrolet, GarberChevrolet.com. Hey, Chris Durson. Richard said it's going to be a Darton. Chris Durson, this is the guy I want you to meet. And we will meet him on a Wednesday Night Live. Chris is the owner of Michigan-made Rapid River knives. Look it, you've got a knife in your pocket right now, don't you? I've got one in my pocket right now. This one happens to be a Kershaw. In fact, it's a Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Kershaw. Nice knife. But in my mind, if I'm going to carry a knife, I want it to be a Michigan-made Rapid River knife from rapidriverknifeworks.us. I ordered 2 knives from Chris, one for a buddy of mine, a fillet knife, and then a beautiful folding knife that I can't wait to get my hands on. We will do a Wednesday Night Live at the Rapid River Knife Works showroom in Rapid River in the UP. Chad Bailey says Chris is a master knife builder. Absolutely loves his Rapid River knife. Mike says he wants one of those knives bad. They are a work of art. Go to the website. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. Hang with us, Chris. Hang with us, Chris. I'm going to go there right now. The website is share screen, Chrome tab, boom, share it. Here is their website, rapidriverknifeworks.us, rapidriverknifeworks.us. Check out some of these knives. Let's go to pocket knives. Look at these things. Are these not, look at this. Are these not works of art? They are absolutely beautiful. Check these out right here. We gave away a Rapid River knife a few weeks ago, and our guy who won it was ecstatic. So the website is rapidriverknifeworks.us, rapidriverknifeworks.us. Go to their showroom and check it out. We will be doing a Wednesday Night Live sometime there in the near future. John is heading up there sometime late this summer to buy one or two knives. If one knife is good, 2 are better. So, Chris, always appreciate you having us on. I always appreciate you joining us. Roy says he has a fillet knife then. Lori says she's got a Rapid River knife. I have never talked to anybody who has been even remotely disappointed with their Rapid River knife. Family-owned, Michigan-based company. You know I love that. Speaking of, this is not a family-owned, Michigan-based company anymore, but after Johnny Bowler joins me on the show this week, Bob Ransom joins me at Primal Tree Stands. You know Bob because he's the guy who started Ameristep. These days, he has Primal Tree Stands and Primal Ground Blinds. Let me share another screen with you. I'm going to save you some money now, okay? This is the way I'm going to save you some money. You know this website. It's outdoorpregame.com, outdoorpregame.com. This is where I have been sending people to buy the Wraith 270 see-through blind. Here's the Wraith. You know I love this blind. I've hunted bears, turkeys, and deer out of this thing. You can see through it. Use the promo code Mike20 for a deep discount. But here's what I want you to take a look at right now. This is the new Breeze blind. It's a warm weather hunting blind. It's designed for circulation. You know how hot it gets in a blind, right? Well, look at this. It's designed to let airflow through there. For early season bear hunting this fall, for the youth hunt, for early season whitetail hunting, for turkey season. Look at this. The price on this is only $250. But if you use the promo code right here, all right, watch this price. $245. Use this promo code right here, Mike20, hit apply, and it drops it down to $179. I told you I was going to save you some money. Okay. Eric loves his Wraith. Martin has 3 of them. Again, when I endorse a company or a product, it's because I believe in it. At this point in my career, I don't need to go for the easy dollar. If I promote a Jays or an Offshore, an Angler Quest, or a Wraith or a Rapid River knife, it's because I believe in the products and the people behind it. Linda says that she would rather be up a tree in a bear hunting. And she got the 270 for deer. Speaking of Linda, nobody asked me what day it is. Ask me what day it is. Somebody ask me what day it is. Come on. What day is it? Jim bought the Wraith because it was affordable, but it's also a great blind. It is. Somebody ask. Linda says, what day is it? It's hump day. Hump day. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. I had to get that in there because I'm not doing a giveaway this week, so I can't give you my buzzer. So what day is it? It's hump day. And yet you still tune in. Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Joe Bean. I'm not going to tell you the extent of our conversation that we had privately a couple of weeks ago, but Joe, I will tell you this. What you told me in your private message to me almost brought tears to my eyes. I really appreciate what you had to say. Your comments resonated with me and they hit me. They affected me deeply, and I appreciate it very, very much. It does make my day. You'd rather have the buzzer, but I'm not giving anything away tonight. Unless you want to give away an Angler. I'll give away an Angler Quest. So anyway, outdoorpregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20. You can save big discounts, big savings on everything at outdoorpregame.com, especially the Wraith and now the new Breeze blind. I love them both. In hour number 2 of this week's show, JJ Mertz of Mid-Michigan Community College. They've got a new program to get people involved in the outdoors as a job, as a career. Yeah, we could give away some points for the DNR drawings. Wouldn't that be nice? Midmish.edu is the website, and it's called HAS, Hunters and Sportsmen's Degree. Jeff says, you can give me your Rapid River knife since you're always telling me to cut it out. Jeff, if there's ever a man deserving of a Rapid River knife, it's you. Again, I won't get into Jeff's personal life, but just know that the man has been a public servant for many, many years. And I support our public servants. Then Rachel Leitner joins us. As I said, she tells you how to give away. And when I first heard this, I thought, why would anybody donate their bear or elk tag? And I thought, from a really smart aleck perspective, if you're going to donate it to me. But when I found out you can donate it to a kid or to somebody with a terminal disease, I get it. Very honorable thing to do. This week's Ask Avery segment at the end of hour number 2, I'll come back to it in a minute, but it's how to choose the right hunting guide. And in hour number 3, Jeff, listen to this. In hour number 3, we're talking with Mike Thorman of the Michigan Hunting Dog Federation. He talks about dog training, running bears with dogs, running coyotes with dogs, some of the problems associated with, i.e. trespass, and dogs running on people's bear baits. Mike's a good guy, a very forthright conversation. Facebook.com, the MHDF, Michigan Hunting Dog Federation. But here's what's going to get Jeff's attention. Mike Thorman is also a member of the Michigan Wolf Hunting Advisory Committee and has been since the beginning. I talked to him. You know, the Michigan Wolf Hunt Advisory Committee has a limited number of members, and 2 of them are anti-hunters. HSUS has a seat at the table. And Chef Dave Miner did not join us this week as he usually does, again, because he had surgery today for his back. Please pray for a speedy recovery for Dave. I have not talked with him since the surgery. Didn't want to bother him, but please pray for a speedy and full recovery of Chef Dave Miner's back problems. He's been having problems for a long time now, and they really put him out of commission this time. Let me go back to the Ask Avery question. Ask Avery is something we do every week on the show. It gives you a chance to be involved in the content of the show. And the best way to get me the questions is send me an email to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. This week I had a lot of questions on how do you choose the best hunting guide because of bear season and elk season. Now in Michigan, you don't need to hunt with a bear or elk guide. You can do it on your own. But for most people, you're asking for problems unless you've got a connection in that area. For example, if you're coming up from downstate, how are you going to know in a 2 or 3 day scouting session where the animals are? Probably better off to hire a guide who follows the animals year round and has been watching them for months. Sal watching us on YouTube says, Mike, I finally found that hump day commercial. Get it now. My grandson, Trent, used to always say that to me on Wednesday. Mike, what day is it? Good evening, KM. How are you? So you don't have to have a guide, but like a bear hunt, unless you live somewhere where you're going to be hunting, it is very, very hard to get baits open and keep them going. Hello, Mad Jack. How are you? Checking in from YouTube? Yes, I will talk about this in just a second, Chad. Great advice. I'll come back to it. That's what I'm leading up to. You got to give me a second to get to my point. Sometimes my old brain doesn't get there as fast as you young guys. It would be very hard to effectively bait for bears if you lived downstate or you had to make a couple-hour drive every day, because most good bear guides will bait every day or at the minimum every other day. So it's a good idea to hire a guide, if for nothing more than to get your baits going and keep them open. So the question is, How do you find a good guide? Whether it's here in Michigan, somewhere across the country, up in Canada, or anywhere around the world, because I have some experience hunting with guides. I've hunted with guides in Michigan, Ohio, Kansas, Illinois, Nebraska, Florida, Manitoba, Quebec, Alberta, Ontario, Alaska, and Africa. So I have some experience hunting, and Colorado. I have some experience hunting with guides. For the most part, all of those experiences have been wonderful. What you want to look for in a guide. Let's start with the basics. Find out what the hunt includes. Is it lodging? Is it meals included? Are those included like they are with our Ohio hunt with Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters coming up on October? Or is it just the hunt and you have to get lodging and room and board on your own? And there's nothing wrong with either way. Just find out what the ground rules are so you'll know what you're responsible for when you get there. As Chad says, check references. Talk to people who actually use the outfitter. How do you get references? Number one, any good outfitter is going to have a list of names you can check with, and you should start there. But you need to go beyond the names of the people that the outfitter recommends as references, because they're probably not going to recommend somebody who didn't have a good time. And here is the litmus test on choosing an outfitter. Talk to people who have hunted with this outfitter or guide. Talk to people who have hunted with the outfitter or guide and did not take an animal. That's the key. Find people who hunted with somebody and didn't kill an animal, yet would still go back and hunt with them again. That is the key. You can have an outstanding hunt and not take an animal. You can take an animal and still only have a so-so hunt. And a lot of it depends on the guide. Talk to people who have hunted with the guide. Talk to people who didn't take an animal, and would they go back? That's the big point, big question. Would they go back even if they didn't get an animal? A guide can only do what they can do. We're dealing with Mother Nature, right? A guide can't guarantee you're going to get a shot. He can't guarantee he's going to put animals in front of you. Don't guide the guide. Johnny Bowler, who just checked in, who is a guide, who will be wearing a different hat when we go to Ohio. If a guide tells you, good point, Mike, don't they give you a list of outfitters when you pull a tag in Michigan? Is it backwards? Thank you, people. Why do you people not tell me these things? I can't believe it. I thought you guys were my friends. Not backwards now, is it? Dan, if I had something to give away tonight, I'd give it away to you right there. No, I didn't realize my patch was on backwards, but thank you for pointing it out. I have a little adjustment here on my camera. You know, and I was looking at that and I thought something looks different, but I didn't make this connection right here. Thank you for pointing that out. A list of outfitters. You will get a list of elk outfitters, elk guides. You will not get a list of bear guides. And as far as I know, that list only is a point of reference. All right, Tim, my friend, have a good night. I don't think they go into detail. I did too, Martin, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Then my hat, see the Mike Avery Outdoors back there? The News 5 Outdoors hat? That would have been backwards too, wouldn't it? So yes, a list of guides from the DNR is a place to start, but I would go a lot farther with that. Bernie says, even with the best guide, you are the one who has to make the shot. Very true. Very true. Very true. I've hunted with some wonderful guides. Caught the wedding band, but didn't want to embarrass. I'm wearing a different ring tonight, by the way. I've had this ring for a while, but my fingers are skinny enough now that this one wants to fall off. In fact, this is my nice ring. I'll probably take it off. It was the mic that was throwing you off. John says, we just have to remember that the mic is on the right in the morning and the left at night. I saw that email. I read it. I will contribute to that cause. Thank you, Johnny. I know his buddy, Bill Holler. I know him well. And Bill Piles is one of those very good guides. I had a situation. Don't try to outthink the outfitter, just like don't guide the guide. I like your picture there, Scott. Scott will be joining us in Ohio as well. I had a situation. Well, let me tell you briefly about two very bad guides that I've had. One of them was on an elk hunt in Colorado. It would happen to be an archery elk hunt in Colorado. A dream hunt, right? How many of us would love to take an elk in the Colorado Rockies with a bow? And I had the chance to do it, or at least I had the chance. I thought I was going to have the chance. We go with this outfitter, and he was a really nice guy. Beautiful country, a nice little hunting camp up on this bluff back in the mountains. No electricity, whatever, but it was it was rustic, but it was nice. And we were surrounded by alfalfa fields. And every morning and every night, the elk often would come out into at night. At night, the elk would come into those alfalfa fields and feed. And we would lay there in that camp and we would hear bulls bugling all the way around us, literally all the way around us. And it was mesmerizing, breathtaking, beautiful. But in the morning, those elk would wander out of the alfalfa fields back down into the ravines, and that's where they would spend the day. We were not allowed to follow those elk down into those ravines because the outfitter was worried if we did that, we would push them out of the area. And I understand that. That's a valid concern. However, we were there to try to take an animal. Looks like Johnny's got to go. Johnny, have a good night. Johnny's a great outfitter, by the way, great guide. So that was one that I wasn't really a fan of. The other one that really sticks out in my mind, and I'll start to wrap this up so we can call it a night. I was in Alaska on a hunting and fishing adventure, Kodiak Island, the most beautiful place I have ever seen in my life. I was doing the TV show at the time, and it was either on Outdoor Channel or Sportsman's Channel. I get a call a year after we're up there. It was after the show had aired. Hey, Brent, how are you? Good to see you. This is a call from the Alaska DNR, their fish and game, whatever they call it, an Alaska game warden. He says, Mike Avery, were you recently on Kodiak Island? He identifies himself. I said, yes. Were you hunting with so-and-so? Yes. Did you do this and such? No, I'm getting really nervous. Yes. Did you know he's not licensed to do those things? Nope. So, Mr. Avery, what we need, and this is on a Friday, Mr. Avery, what we need you back in the city of Kodiak, on Kodiak Island in the state of Alaska. We need you there Monday to testify against this outfitter. I said, that's not going to work. My son, James, was getting married that weekend. I said, I can't do it. My son's getting married this weekend. I can't be ready. They said, Mr. Avery, we really need you here. And if you decide that you can't show up, we'll get a bench warrant issued for you locally, and we'll have the law enforcement authorities there put you on a plane. So you're coming up to see us. So I did. But I had to go back to Alaska to testify against an outfitter there because he was so shoddy. And the thing of it is, that outfitter was recommended by a friend of mine. You'd think, how much more legitimacy do you need? You got to do your due diligence. A good guide can make a mediocre hunt wonderful, and a mediocre guide can make a great hunt so. Anything else, my friends? other than the fact that my camera was backwards and nobody bothered to tell me right away. Again, the Wednesday night live tentatively set for August 11th has been postponed for now. Dave had some surgery today. I want him to heal up and recover before he worries about taking care of us. Craig says, good luck fishing. Yeah, I wanted to fish tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be too windy again. I do plan on being out there Friday fishing with Nick and Butch Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats. And then Monday, I'll be out there with Sherm Hubbard and Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze. I did record a podcast today, the Offshore Tackle Podcast with Lance Valentine of Teachin' Fishing. If you troll crankbaits, I want you to listen to this podcast because we go into depth. We do a deep dive, which I hate that term. We go in depth talking about how to tune a crankbait. It's critical if you're serious about it. Website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. You can always reach me via email, mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you joining me tonight. My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. Again, the website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. I don't know, probably everywhere else. And the email address is mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Have a good night, my friends. Enjoy the break in the weather, and I'll talk to you next time right here on Wednesday Night Live.